Let me ask you, do the American people understand what's taking place at the FBI, the top of the leadership at the FBI? How do you see this right now? We've talked about this issue in the past, but this morning there are new text messages that we're talking about between Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, where he's saying we're not going to disclose this to the Department of Justice. Do you think the average guy or girl out there understands this abuse of power that has taken place?
Well, in last week's poll, 67% said there should be another special counsel to investigate the FBI. But interestingly, when I asked them, do you know that McCabe's wife got $700,000 in contributions from Terry McAuliffe? Only a third knew because of the news blackout, a lot of the details. When I told them that that was true, they all said that was corruption. So, you know, a lot of the story here is only in certain channels, and that really affects public opinion.
I feel like Marc Lotter, anybody on both sides of the aisle should be upset when you have a handful of people, and I know much of the FBI are hardworking, good people who are trying to protect this country. But there is a handful of people at the FBI, at the top of the FBI and at the top of the Department of Justice, who clearly went rogue and were abusing their power.
You're absolutely right, and that's why we've got to get to the bottom of it. I think the fact that they've appointed the Inspector General to look at this, let's see what that comes back with, and then if it needs to be taken to a special counsel or handled through the existing Justice Department, because we do have the U.S. Attorney in Utah taking a look at this. I think that's the right way to go. Special prosecutors, special counsels are great, but they often go far afield in terms of what they were supposed to look at.
Right.
So if Attorney General Sessions can get this handled within the Justice Department in a responsible and fair and accurate way, then I think that's the way we should move forward.
And that's why he put in place this Utah prosecutor, Mr. Huber. Here we are at the end of the week, Mark Penn, when Hillary Clinton was out and about again, talking and trying to figure out what happened and blaming everybody. And the latest here, people are saying, you know what, Hillary, we're in a year where there's midterm elections. Maybe you should stop insulting half of the country. Tell us the tone of the people on that going into the midterms.
Well, look, in Microtrends Squared, I said clearly, the old economy voters, the voters that really want tariffs and jobs, they determined the election. They were the critical swing group. It wasn't about the Russians. It wasn't about Comey. That's really what was the election then. And will those voters stick with the Republican Party? You know, Trump is making a real appeal to them. The Republican Party isn't. That's the Democratic opportunity. Get them back in the midterms, because although Trump has made appeals, the Republican Party remains as elitist as ever.
Let's face it. Some people voted for Donald Trump only because they didn't want her.
Well, look, an equal number of people didn't want him.
Okay.
The people who decided the election didn't want either candidate. What they wanted was a better economy, better jobs, higher wages,
and that was his message.
Standing up to our enemies. And that was the message that won.
Do the Dems have that message this time around? You know, we had Donna Brazile on this week, and she said, our message is about the economy. And I said, really? I don't hear it. Who's giving that message?
The Dems don't have a message yet, but the Republicans are so fractured that they don't have a message. Tax cuts alone won't do it. And can you really say the Republicans can claim credit for the economy? Trump maybe can claim credit because he's trying to crack down on China and cut taxes, but the Republicans aren't.
Hey, this is a really good point, Marc Lotter. Going into the midterms, we just saw what happened in Wisconsin. How worried are the Republicans?
I think they should be worried that they're not getting their message out. And while we are fractured in some areas, we've seen nothing but resistance. And to Mark's point, the Democrats don't have a solid message right now either. We're going to have to double down on that economic message. We're seeing the numbers. It's Jobs Friday. Hopefully that continues here in about 90 minutes or so. But the president's got the results. Let's get that message out there. And for Republicans who are running, raise money, knock on doors, and make sure you are getting your message out to the voters that you want to protect their jobs, protect their paychecks.
Well, I just don't know if the president wouldn't do better with Democrats in Congress. He's done so poorly with Republicans. They don't.
What do you mean he's done so poorly, Mark? Give me a break. They had the tax plan. Not one Democrat voted for the tax plan. They're going to have to explain that one going into the midterm.
Well, that's right. But the value of the Republicans is over. If the president wants infrastructure, wants immigration, wants to crack down on trade, those are issues he's really going to need Democrats for, because the Republicans have really run from all of them.
Yeah, and right now, Mark, Mark, we're talking about this idea to rein in spending. The president is working with Kevin McCarthy and basically trying to come up with an idea to go back on that $1.3 trillion omnibus bill. Will they be successful? Is it true they only need 50 votes in the Senate? Lotter?
Yes, it is, but we've also got to get it through the House, and so we need to make sure that you get the Freedom Caucus and others on board with cutting spending. The answer, though, for people who are worried about the deficit and $1.3 trillion in spending is putting more conservative Republicans there in Congress, not more Democrats. And right now, their biggest message is impeachment and Russia and repealing the tax cuts. So difficult message for Democrats to run on in November.
It's a lot of resist. I'll give you that. It's true. Mark Lotter, Mark Penn, great to see you both.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, gentlemen.